This is a very short video on how to use scientific notation. And this is something you've learned before, but probably have not used it a whole lot in most of your classes. You'll use it quite a bit this year in chemistry. And scientific notation is just an easier way to write really, really big numbers or really, really small numbers. A number like 250 we would not put in scientific notation usually. We can, but it's probably more work. So we use it for very big numbers or very, very small numbers. For example, this number right here is called Avogadro's number. It's got 21 zeros after 602. And it's kind of a pain to write that number. We use this number a lot second semester, and it's much easier to put in scientific notation and use scientific notation to do calculations with. So again, very big numbers, very small numbers. So a number in scientific notation would be a number like this, okay? 5.2 times 10 to the fifth. So remember, 10 to the fifth means we're taking 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 5 times. So that means we're making a very big number out of it. You probably know that. So 10 squared, you know, is 100. What you may not know is that 10 to the negative second power is 1 over 10 squared. In other words, 1 over 100. So it means you're dividing a number by 100. So if you see a number like this, 3.25 times 10 to the negative fourth, means you're dividing this by 10 4 times, making it a much smaller number. So first thing, these are normal numbers. We'll put those into scientific notation, and then some ones in scientific notation. Put those into normal numbers. Again, first rule is this. I always only have one number left of the decimal. I never have two numbers left of the decimal. So I wouldn't have like 59.5. It's 5.95. So up here, we're going to move our decimal until it's between the 4 and the 5. So we're going to have 4.5 times 10 to a certain power. Since this number is bigger than, let me fix something real quick here. Hopefully that helps. Since this number is bigger than 1, it's going to be a big number, we're going to have a positive exponent. We want to multiply by, to make 4.5 into 45,000, we have to multiply by 10 quite a few times. Well, our decimal originally was here, so we've moved it 1, 2, 3, 4 places over. So multiply by 10 4 times. So take 4.5 times 10 to the fourth power, it's the same thing as 45,000. That's probably not a number we'd always put in scientific notation, because it's not that huge of a number. Over here again, we move our decimal until it's between the 3 and the 5, so we have one number that's not a 0 left of the decimal. So it'd be 3.5 times 10, and again we've moved it 1, 2, 3 places. In this case, it'd be the negative third power. We're taking 3.5 and dividing it by 10 3 times to turn that number. Over here again, we move our decimal to between the 3 and the 7, so we have one number left of the decimal. We do have to include all non-zero numbers and any zeros that are between those. So 3.77 times 10, and we've gone from here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places over 10 to the fifth power. This one, decimal become here, we'd be at 4.12 times 10, and we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Again, it's less than 1, so it's a negative exponent, it's a small number. If we're taking a number that is in scientific notation and changing it into a standard number, all you gotta do is move the decimal here. Okay? So this means we're gonna take 5.2 and multiply it by 10 5 times. Well, every time we multiply by 10, the decimal moves over a spot. So we're gonna move this decimal over 5 places. So it was here, I've just moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our decimal's now out there. So that becomes 520,000. Again, if it's a negative exponent, it means we are dividing by 10. That means the decimal's going back, so we're going back 4 places. So 0.000325. Same thing here. Negative third power, so decimal's going back 3 places, so it would be 0.00595. 10 to the 7th power, we're multiplying this by 10 7 times, so our decimal needs to go to the right 7 places, making it a much bigger number. So we have 713, that's 2 places over. 5 of them there. So it becomes 71,300,000. So that should be kind of review and pretty simple. The bottom part of this, multiplying and dividing scientific notation, you just need to know how to use a calculator to do that. You don't have to be able to do it in your head. You don't have to know the rules on it. You just got to be able to use a calculator. I'll move the sheet up a little bit here. I will not do all of these, but I will do a few of them. First thing, if we are multiplying 10 to the 6th and 10 to the 8th, the exponents actually get added and become 10 to the 14th, or they might become 10 to the 15th if these numbers are fairly big here. But you don't have to know those rules. Again, I want you to be able to use a calculator for it. So here's a calculator from my room. You may have a different one, and that's fine. But whenever I put a number in scientific notation, you probably can't see the numbers on the screen, but I would type in 3.75, okay? And then I push this little EXP button. That means times 10. So I push this little EXP button, that means times 10. If you're using a big graphing calculator, there is a double E button. And I'll show that here. On a big graphing calculator, there is a double E button. So on here, there's a second function, and right above the 7 is a double E button, that little EE. Okay, so those buttons mean times 10. So we don't type in times 10. Don't use your caret key. Not use that. We don't type in times 10. So if I am doing this first problem, you would type in 3.75. Instead of times 10, you type in you either hit the EXP button or you hit the double E button, depending on the calculator you have. These buttons mean times 10. So I type in 3.75, hit one of these two buttons, type in the number 6. Push my time sign. That's the only time you'll push the time sign here. Type in 5.96, EXP or EE, and hit 8. So let me do that real quick. We have 3.75 EXP6 times 5.96 EXP8, 2.24. I keep the same number of decimals as we're in this. So 2.24 times 10 to the 15th power. Okay, now it comes up on the calculator like this. Okay, it looks like that. But that means 2.24 times 2.24 times 2.24 15 times. Much, much different than this. So you need to know that even though it looks like this, we write it times 10 to the 15th power. If you have a big calculator, it comes up like this, 2.24 E15. Again, I will not take this for an answer. Either one of these will be right. You need to know the E means times 10 to the 15th power. If you have a negative number in there, you type in 5.54. Again, don't type in the times or the 10. Either type in EXP or double E, and then put in the negative 3. Okay, so you don't use your minus sign, use your plus minus sign for that. So you can try those. Addition, subtraction, same thing. So it's mostly just learning how to use your calculator to do those. And I can help you in class with those as we go through.